Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of PK Vibez. I'm one of your hosts, Stefan, aka the Brother in Blue, and I'm joined by my host,
Face Lemonade. That's me.
All right, awesome. So, yeah, we sorry about the not being as consistent with our episodes. We decided that it'll be better for our mental state, mine specifically, maybe yours a little bit, to do record these every other week. That way we just have time to, process things and plan a little bit better. Just because we have other things going on outside of, doing the podcast. That being said, we'll still try to be as consistent as we can with these. So just try to be patient with those. So yeah, we're back.
We is back.
There we go. Much better. So, how you been, friend?
I've been good. How you been? I was just gonna say I got kids, B. That's why I can't do it every week. I got children. But I've been good. How you been?
I've been good. I was gonna say I can't really relate with that.
I know you can't relate. That's why I had to say it, because he wasn't gonna say that. I was good. Talking about a little bit. Me too, all the way for my mental.
It's funny. Every time we go to like a family function or something, now that I've been getting older, there's always at least like one auntie or one cousin who's like, so you got kids?
Always.
You married?
No, funny story about that. Literally, the last family function we went to, it was like a Christmas Eve party in 2019, of course. And we was all sitting at the table, and everybody was like, who gonna have kids first? Who gonna have a baby first? And Lord, I looked at all my cousins and was like, I don't know who gonna have a baby first. It ain't gonna be me. I don't know what y'all gonna do. Whole time, it was me.
I was about to say,
I found out I was pregnant literally 5 days later. It was terrible.
Funny. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I always just find it weird when I get asked that question because, like, in my mind, I don't see myself like at that age yet.
For real, no, but for real. 20s is a tricky time because you feel like you ain't old enough, but yet you feel like you too old. Yeah, definitely.
Anyways, so the topic we're going to talk about today is we're going to do a little bit of a top 5 list. And this top 5 list, I think, is very relatable to our PK journey. Basically, it's the top 5 culture shocks that we experienced outside of church.
Yep.
So to kind of give a little bit of background, so basically our experience was we went to a church and we basically this church was in, if you're not familiar with denominations, it was a Church of God in Christ church, Kojic. And this particular church, they had service on Sunday, so Sunday school at 9, and then the regular service went to about 3.
Oh, but don't forget the donuts and juice we had 15 minutes after Sunday school.
Yeah,
that was my favorite service.
Yeah, we had some donuts. The kids had donuts. And then the regular service went till about 3, and then depending on the day of which Sunday it was, usually first Sunday we would come back.
Man, go home, get something to eat, take your little 15-minute nap, and be back dressed in church clothes for 6 p.m. service.
6 p.m. for communion. So with the little saltine crackers and the grape juice.
Yeah, that's my favorite service too. Anything with some food, man, I was there. Yeah. Food and drink, oh yes.
So then there was that. So basically we had church all day Sunday.
All day.
And then
all week.
The next thing after that was Tuesday night Bible study.
That was song come to mind. Shout out to Kiki Shear, church night. Wednesday is here. So.
Is that who does that song?
Kiki all day. That's my spirit animal. I hope she sees this. When she sees this, that's when I know I made it.
Because I thought it was, what's his name?
Kiki Shear, church night.
J Moss.
It's produced by him. Now,
Okay.
he is a very slept-on, amazing producer. It's produced by him all day. It's his sound. But
Yeah, there's
it's
a lot of
Kiki's
songs
song.
he does.
But you can just tell it's his sound. He
Yeah.
has a certain sound,
Yeah.
man.
Like, there's another one I'm working on. I'm making an arrangement of
Is it the
Second Chance.
Second Chance?
Yeah.
That's him too.
Yeah, I thought that was
But
him.
actually, no, that's not him. That's Jay Drew.
It is him. Because I looked it up.
Oh, okay, but it's Jay Drew too.
Jay Drew? Oh, okay.
Which is her son.
Oh, okay.
So they do half and half. They 50-50 on the Clark
Okay.
family records, all of them. It's either
Yeah.
J Moss producing it, maybe Roddy Jergens, and Jay Drew.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, so then we had Tuesday night Bible study.
Two things.
And then Wednesday, choir rehearsal. Which which wasn't as bad because there was
That was adult choir rehearsal.
adult choir rehearsal. So they actually let the kids, go in the back and watch movies. So that wasn't as bad.
Really? I don't remember that. I remember staying home with Dad suffering. Because I would have to stay home with my father on choir rehearsal.
But
And
Dad was a musician. He played for the choir.
he had quit. But I promise you, because we was at home one night and I cut my finger, and Dad literally drove me all the way to the church for Mama to kiss it and put a Band-Aid on it. I kid you not. I kid you not. If I don't make this up, I still got the scar on my finger. I cannot make this up, man.
I don't remember that.
It's this one. You can't see it no more because I use bio oil. But yes, yes. When Dad quit, we was at home. It's still when we was at the apartments too.
Was it?
Maybe we was sick. I don't know, but I don't remember movies in the back.
But yeah, I remember.
Maybe I was a nosy kid.
Yeah.
Because I remember actual practice.
You were a little bit younger too. Like I was probably maybe 8 or 9 when they let us do that. So yeah, you was probably pretty still young. But so Wednesday choir rehearsal, and then Friday, which I have a beef.
Which was Bible study? Tuesday was Bible study?
Tuesday was
Bible Friday.
study. And then Friday was the evangelistic service. We called it Victory in Christ Night.
Which I had a problem with because all the other churches in Kojic had youth night. And do you know how jealous I was to walk into a church on a Friday night to pick up Sunday school books and hear the church jumping with J Moss songs and stuff? And I don't want to go to evangelistic night. I want to go to youth night.
Meanwhile, we sitting here with I will magnify the Lord.
Okay, that's what we got on Friday.
He is worthy to be praised.
I remember one time he did fly out Donna Lawrence, I think. He did fly out Donna Lawrence, I believe. Because I remember The Best Is Yet to Come live with the actual dude. And I believe it was Donald Lawrence. Now, I was only like 5 or 6. So I don't know. It might have been a makeup choir. It might have been a Mississippi Mass choir or something. But I believe he did fly out Donald Lawrence. I think that's all we got. That's all the love we got.
And then, well, here's my problem with the Friday night service. Because I was a young kid, 9 to 10, growing up in the 90s, there was a special segment on Cartoon Network.
Not Cartoon Network. I knew he was going to say Cartoon Network.
Called Cartoon Fridays. And that's when they premiered their best stuff, the new episodes, new hosts, and all kinds of stuff. It was a good time for 90s
now, I
kids.
feel him on that one because we know the Disney Channel movie used to come on Friday nights, and I had to catch that the next morning at 10.
I didn't even get to catch it. I just had
to catch the rerun.
But yeah, so I was a little salty about being in church because I missed my cartoons.
Yeah, definitely. I feel you on that one.
And then on Saturday morning, we had children's choir
rehearsal while the adults went out and did visitation services. So they went to the jails and then the old folks home and prayed and all that stuff.
So I remember that.
But now I remember children's choir because y'all used to cut up the children's choir. I remember looking at the old kids. The girls, of course, had their bubble gum with their hot fries, just talking stuff. I bet y'all to go see this, and I bet y'all to go do that. Did y'all go to Waterworld? Y'all didn't even see the new ride. That's all I remember about children's choir is talking stuff, and I had my tamarine. I was the tamarine girl in the front.
I remember that. The Pharaoh.
Yeah, and when Images first moved and opened. Yeah, he was like, I went. And when Knicks, I don't know why it was a thing, but when the Knicks Garden Center opened, we was excited for that too. Yes. Oh. I remember freaking and Dimitri, shout out, sorry. I remember them two talking about it.
Wow. So yeah, that's kind of what we experienced on a weekly basis when we were kids. Later in life, our dad started his own church, and we kind of had more of a hybrid version of that. We ended up having church just Sunday morning, Bible study / prayer on Wednesday, and then kind of a choir rehearsal on Saturday, but that kind of stopped being a thing. So it was just church on Sunday and then on Wednesday.
Bible study, that was pretty much it.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to go through from 5 to 1. You tell me your number 5, I'll tell you my number 5.
Okay.
And then we'll just go on from there, and then we'll just kind of talk about it.
Oh, cool. Let's talk about it. Okay.
You want to go first?
Yes. Okay. My number 5, Coach's Shock, would be people who are not like the pastor's immediate family. No, people who are the pastor's immediate family. Like, we see a whole different level of the church, and I feel like we go through like different stuff. Like when I got out of being a PK, I realized that people had it so easy when they could just walk into the church and not have to pick up nothing off the floor. They didn't have to vacuum. They didn't have to hand nobody no fan. They didn't have to get the pastor no water when he started coughing. They didn't have to do none of that. And I just felt like only like the immediate family. When I went to like bigger churches, I've noticed like only the immediate family really feels that work. Like even like I don't know. I really in my dad's church, his deacons and stuff were his brothers and stuff, so I really don't know. And his son. And his son. So I really don't know as far as like deacons go that are not family if they see the same things, but I know them too. They've seen and like helped and dealt with a lot. So that was my number 5, culture shock. Like, dang, y'all got it easy.
Interesting. I have a feeling that like my list might be a little simpler than yours. Yeah,
I am if y'all like don't tell already, I'm a way more complex thinker. I dig way too deep into everything.
But we'll so my number 5 was to give some background to this. Actually, let me just flat out say it. So my number 5 is cussing. So now this is why like cussing, at least it's not that big of a deal to me now because I'm grown, but like this is why it was such a big deal to me at the time is because growing up we didn't really grow up around that kind of language.
Yeah.
Like
I remember. Apologize.
Yeah. Like I remember the first time we actually heard our parents say a curse word for the first time, we were well into adulthood
or teenagehood.
Like, can I tell this story?
What are you gonna tell?
I won't give too much detail. I'll just say.
When I first heard Dad cuss.
Yeah. So, can I say it? Or you want to?
No, I would say it because I got to tell it. It's my story.
Okay.
First time I heard my daddy cuss, I had snuck a boy into the house.
Well, I wasn't gonna go there.
No, I was going. You got to tell it. If you gonna tell it, you got to tell why he cussed. I snuck a boy into the house, and he said, "What the hell was you thinking?" No. And I'm sitting here like.
No, he said, have you lost your damn
No,
mind?
He said, hell. I could have sworn it was hell. He said, what the hell you thinking? Have you lost your damn? I think he said both of them. Okay. I think he said both of them because I think he was trying to make a point. I think he was trying to make a point that he was pissed off and he was cussing. Because that's how adults made it clear that they was mad in our life. If they started cussing, it was over with. They mad.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I remember, like, I was, like, kind of down the stairs a little bit in the stairwell.
You was listening?
Kind of listening.
I thought you was in college.
Not because I was there.
I thought you was in college.
This was.
But I guess yeah, you was home because I was in high school.
So
you was home.
I think this was a summer back for me.
I think you were home.
Oh, was I?
Because if I was in high school, it was freshman year, I think you was home. Just got your job at 24-Hour Fitness and everything. You was home.
Okay. But yeah, I remember that. I was like, oh. And then the other instance is when Mom, hearing her cuss for the first time.
Man! Mama!
She was on the phone with a company.
A cable company.
And I guess they was doing something.
They hiked the bill up. Y'all know how these cable companies get down. They hiked the bill all the way up.
Yeah. And all I remember is when she was retelling the story to us, she was like, you guys are shit.
I told him the company was shit. That's what she told us. I said, Mama, you told him your company was what?
I was like, oh.
She said, shit. I told him the company was shit.
I was like, Mom.
Mama. And she said it. Bitch, come on now. She said it 4 times.
Oh,
she said it 4 times.
So then I think so that was a shock in itself. But like the first original shock was when I went to middle school for the first time. Because up until that point, cursing was kind of like this taboo thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like this secret thing that I remember I said my first curse word was, I was 6 or 7. And that time I didn't really know what I was saying. But I remember middle school, it was just kind of like regular conversation, and just hearing it in the hallways, I was just like, oh my goodness, so many fuck this and shit and damn, and I'm like, oh, so people talk like this. For real. Oh my. So yeah, that's my number 5 curse, or number 5. What are we doing?
Come on now, Coach Shock.
The reason why it's so low is just because now it doesn't really faze me that much. You know, I still feel like I try to establish there's a place to have that kind of language. With my students, I tell them I try not to cuss around them just because there should be an environment where they aren't always exposed to that kind of language.
Yeah, definitely.
To me, it just kind of feels like it has kind of this negative impact. Connotation or negative impact on one's psyche, especially that young. Right. So, yeah, that's my number 5. What's your number 4?
Man, this one happened it shocked me when I was real young, that people listen to music other than gospel or no music at all when they driving. When I got my first ride, my mom was really strict on that. There was no getting no rides from nobody, and we didn't have no cell phones back then, so wasn't no calling her real quick Mama, can I get a ride? That didn't happen till later on. So in elementary school, I couldn't get no rides from nobody, but one time I got permission to get a ride from somebody, and I got in the car, and homeboy was listening to people talk. And I was like, what? Ain't no music?
That's funny.
And then another friend was listening to jazz, and I'm like, oh yeah, people listen to stuff other than gospel. Whoa.
You know what's funny?
I cannot believe it.
You know what's funny? That was my number 4 too.
Yeah! We right here. I knew one of these was going to be identical. I knew it.
So my thought process behind this is just the fact that since we only listened to gospel music growing up, there's a lot of artists and songs and things that people bring up that we aren't even familiar with.
And I had to go back and be familiar with it because as a vocalist, that wasn't it. My parents was taking me to different auditions and stuff for Disney back in the day. Y'all know them auditions used to float through the town and stuff. And I kept on singing gospel music. And then one day they told us straight up, hey, she not gonna get nothing singing no gospel music. You gotta introduce her to different people. At least do R&B or something. Yeah. And so that's when I started studying music by myself. And I started studying, different black music and old stuff and Disney music. I think that was my first thing that I studied was a whole bunch of Disney music. My dad bought me this Disney CD, and I just learned a whole bunch of Disney songs.
Yeah. So my exposure to music outside of gospel mainly happened in band, really. Like, yeah. So a lot of the tunes, like I had never heard of like Bohemian Rhapsody. I never heard of that until I got in band. There was another one where I actually went to a drum corps show. This was the Academy. I want to say it was 2013. But they had their show called Piano Man. And they had the whole crowd sing along to Piano Man by some white guy. I don't know. I forget his name. If you know, let us know down in the comments. But yeah, the whole crowd was singing along to it, and I was just like, "What? Oh, I'm not supposed to know this song? Like, what's going on?"
For real, yes. That was the main thing growing up, especially like in middle school and stuff. Because I went to Denver School of Arts, so I went to art school. So there's a whole bunch of songs. The people would be singing along, and they'd be like, "You don't know that?
Yeah.
I've been singing that since I was a little girl, and you don't know, girl. I've been singing this Eyes on a Sparrow and Amazing Grace. If y'all not talking about that, then no, I don't know it."
Yeah. So basically, if we didn't hear it in school, we basically never heard of it.
Or on movies.
Or movies, yeah.
But even movies, I think songs didn't really stick to us until we realized that they were different. You know, I don't know about you, but like when I was a little girl, I don't really necessarily remember singing all of those songs or being fascinated on like The Lion King and Toy Story. I really don't remember being fascinated on those songs until later on.
Yeah, I don't think I was ever like fascinated with them. I felt like I just was familiar with them.
Yeah, you know them, but I don't think they like appropriated in my culture or they settled in my culture that I see every day until like later on. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense.
So what music do you listen to now?
Oh, I listen to a whole bunch of stuff, but mainly neo-soul. Whether that be neo-soul rap or neo-soul jazz or neo-soul singing or neo-soul poetry. They do have it. I just love neo-soul the most, I think. That's where I find myself falling in the pits.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm basically instrumental anything. I don't, this is probably the hardest question for me to answer because like, I like certain songs in different genres, not necessarily the genre itself, and that's all I listen to.
Right.
Like my playlist consists of, just off the top of my head, I have Imogen Heap, I have Earth, Imogen Heap, Earth. I have Marcus Miller, Stephon Harris. Who else? Snarky Puppy. I have Epic Lloyd. He's a YouTuber. I have him on there. I have Max Peter on there. So yeah, and who else? Mort Fustang.
Oh, okay. I don't know how many people there is.
He's an electronic DJ. Who else? Oh, Fat Rat. So like a whole plethora of like different genres of music that that I just really enjoy, and I think that I just kind of wish I came across them sooner,
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. See, but for me, like I do catch myself like going back and listening to like songs. I feel like songs hit me when they hit me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care if it's from the 90s, the 80s, or like I got to go back and study Anita Baker. I'm gonna have a few Anita Baker favorite songs coming up because I got to go back and study her. She's the only one I haven't studied. Like I don't care when a song hits me. It's supposed to hit me when it hits me. That's how I feel. I think that's God.
Another thing too is like when people have music conversations, because I've been watching like lately. I've been watching a lot of Kev on Stage and a lot of that crew, and when they have the conversations about, well, this rapper did this in the 90s and this, that, and then this singer and this song is so banging, and I'm just like, I don't know what they're talking about, but they're hilarious.
Yeah, see, I can touch on it a little bit. I think for the most part, I can talk about black music in depth. I think I hold my own in good old debates.
Yeah,
I like music, except for when you go like to the deep, like New York, deep in New York, 80s rappers. I don't know nothing about them. I just heard about the Fabulous Five and what? Maybe it's not the Fabulous Five. Whatever. I just heard about some rappers in the 80s, and I don't know nothing about that. But that's probably it. Other than that, yeah. And the people like I listen to now are like, shout out to the girls out there in my generation that really made me love music again. My Nayo, my Kaylani, Tiana Taylor, Ari Lennox all day.
I heard that name.
I am the biggest fan of Ari Lennox. Let's see, there is so many that I know that I am missing, but shout out to y'all. Y'all are definitely doing the thing. Ella Mai, her, like, Jasmine Sullivan just came out with a new album. Yeah, all that. So those are the people that I listen to. And my rappers are J. Cole and Kendrick and Logic. And those are my little neo soul rappers.
I've heard of all of those.
Yeah, those are my neo soul rappers.
I even know what they look like too.
Oh!
Yeah!
Thanks to the name. Thanks to the name.
Logic, I know what he looks like because I saw him. I follow a YouTuber, Dashy Games.
Dashy.
Yeah.
Oh, loud ass Dashy.
It's Dashy.
It's all love, Dashy, but I cannot stand all that yelling. I gotta
You gotta listen to it like this.
All that damn yelling, child. I be listening to it like this. Like, I don't know what to cover up, bruh.
You know, I saw some of his old videos. Man, he has lost a lot of weight.
That's what I was telling baby the other day. I thought he was chunky. And then I seen him in a commercial that he just did for Nintendo. And, like, you seen his whole body. And he looks good. I was like, oh, he looks like a little muscle man. I thought he was chunky.
He got some muscle, man.
Yeah.
Like his old videos, he's like a circle.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he was little chunksters. But yeah, now he looks good.
Shout out to Dashy.
Shout out to Dashy.
But yeah, I know Logic, and then I just see pictures of Kendrick every once in a while and J. Cole.
Yeah, them is my main people.
Yeah. All right, ready to move on to number 3?
Oh, what is number 3? You start number 3 off.
You want me to?
Yeah,
all right.
Start off.
So this is kind of a blanket term, but my number 3 was quote unquote white church. So my first experience going to a white church was we had some friends when we were younger. I'm not gonna tell their last name, you know, protect them. But we had some friends, and we were fairly close. After school, I would always hang out at their house, and then stay there until our parents would pick me up. So one day we got close enough to, we actually ended up going to each other's churches. So it was 3 kids. So it was a boy, it was a girl who was around age. Our birthdays were like 1 day apart.
Aww.
And then a younger boy who was just a year younger than us. And then a younger girl who was more closer to your age. So, anyways, I would hang out with the boy a lot. We would play Nintendo and play Legos and all that. So we invited the boy to come to church with us. He came to one of our Victory in Christ Night services.
Really?
Yeah.
Back in the day, Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, he came to that, and so it was maybe like a week or 2 after that, I went to church with them. And boy, like honestly, I think these next like 3 are gonna like kind of coexist, co-mingle, whatever. But anyways, after I went to that church, first of all we did was just do Sunday school, and then that was it.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So they had the praise and worship service, and since we were so young, they actually let us stand on the pews.
What?
It was weird.
Stand. Yeah. See, that's on my list too.
Yeah. Stand on the pews to see the words on the screen, which blew my mind too.
Words on the screen.
Words on the screen.
In early 2000s. Gotta be.
This was 98, 99.
This is 90s. Words on the screen.
Words on the screen. So I was just like, wow, I don't know these songs, but let me read what they are about.
Okay.
So there was that. And then, so that whole experience. And then church was over and like, well,
Now
Yeah.
within the hour, huh?
Yeah, and then we didn't have to go back.
Ooh, not go back.
Yeah. So,
That sounds
so then there was that experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I graduated high school, I got accepted into a Christian school out in Nebraska. I mean, they're not around anymore, so I guess I can say the name. Grace University.
Grace ain't around no more.
No, they tore it down.
They tore it down.
Yeah.
Seven, you old, right? Your college, I know two people that got their college closed down. Another person know who she is. I cannot believe y'all got your college closed down. Dang.
Honestly, I kind of feel like you're more, like, your response is bigger to it than mine was. I was just like,
I just think way. I'm telling you, I think way too deep into everything. Like colleges closing down on me is crazy because I feel like they're institutions. So like just closing down, I'd be like, what you mean? You just don't close down?
You see that college?
It was raggedy, bro. Like it looked like Johnson and Wells like ran down. Honestly, yeah. That when I thought of it, I was like, oh, this gives me Johnson and Wells vibes, but it was like.
It was
ghetto.
It was
YMCA club.
Joe and Wally.
For real, just older vibes.
So when I was at that school, basically the majority of the student population was white, and so just being around that environment for a little while. And just seeing how different they do things, you know?
Definitely different.
Yeah. Like, so I was there for a while. I ended up going to a Pentecostal church, but it was, I want to say Assemblies of God no, it was basically the white version of Kojic.
Ooh, did they have a white man on the tambourine like this?
No, a little less. Southern, a little less Baptist. I mean, it was still like if you were to go in there, it would still be like it would give the vibe of like what we think is a changa. But it was probably the closest thing to what I was used to at the time. So yeah, that was kind of my experience with like a white church. You know, not to sound like racist or anything.
It's not racist, but let's be real. Like, the experiences are different.
Yeah,
you know, the experiences are different. That's not racist. It's different.
And to be fair, like, that church the pastor of the church, he was actually Hawaiian. So, it wasn't, like, completely white.
Right,
you know?
right.
And, like, there was a whole plethora of different cultures in that church, too. Like even though like the format was like they were done, you know, there wasn't no 8-hour services. Yeah,
I
but
feel you.
It was still very multicultural in that church, and it was kind of eye opening just to kind of experience those different a different environment and just kind of listen to different people's stories like that from there. So that was cool. So yeah, that was my number.
Well, to piggyback off of your story, I got a white church story too. The first time I went to a white church, I think first time I went to a white church because my friends when I visited their church, they was black, so that didn't even count. But the first time where I did go to a white church was in college, and it was funny because like I believed in like never missing Easter. Like this, I had never missed a church in Easter. So I was like, nah, I gotta go to church. So I had looked up me some churches. Now I'm in Grand Junction. Cereal Bowl, Grand Junction. All my people that's been there know that joke. It's literally like a cereal bowl. You look around, you can see the edges of your bowl. Yeah. That's it. Okay?
It's like it's in the middle of the mountain range.
Yes.
Of the Rocky Mountains.
Just the little city, just loop right there. And so, ain't no churches like that. So I'm Googling my churches and stuff, and I see about 10, and I'm like, all right, well, what we working with? I see this church called New Life. Okay. And you know I got my hopes up because I just got done listening to the John B. Key song, I Want a New Life. You know what I'm saying? I just got done listening to it, so I was like, okay, new life. I want a new life.
So you thought this was a black church?
I had hopes. I'm not gonna act that. It was in my head in the front of of my head that this is probably a whole bunch of Caucasians. This is not black. This is not the new life you're looking for. But in the back of my head, I had hopes. Okay? And I texted your grandmother, and grandma gonna say, well, good luck, girl. You know them white folks can't sing. All right, grandma, man. I'm still gonna go, man. I'm still gonna go Easter, so I'm gonna go. So I went, and it was cool. Like Stephen said, they had the words on the screen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Like, why don't black churches do that? First of all,
they started now. Like, if you go to, they started now that like the new age churches, you know, black people are really
non-denominational.
Yeah, the non-denominational churches, they're starting to put the words up on the screen and the Bible verses and all that stuff. Yeah, they had the words on the screen. And that was cool. The songs they were singing was cool, but of course I'm sitting here giggling the whole time because this can sing. I'm so mad at grandma for telling me that before I walked into people's building because she could not sing. And then they was handing out little Easter baskets, and I'm sitting here like, man, bro, I'm the only black one in here. Y'all gotta give me an Easter basket. Y'all gotta give me an Easter basket. Come on, I'm the only black person in here. No. The kids did not walk up to me. I did not get no Easter basket. I didn't get no coffee. I didn't get no donut. No nothing. And I was like, this is a waste of time. I didn't even get no candy.
You this grown, sketchy looking black lady.
Obviously, I'm from a college around the way. I mean, like.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, but for real, though, in Grand Junction, that was a problem. Like, they used to look at us crazy. Like, where else could we be from? Right. Y'all know this is a college town. Where else could we? Ain't nobody just out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I want to come to church here? Obviously, I'm stuck here.
Yeah. You know, that's to kind of pick up after that. That's something, when I went to college, that's something I didn't actually experience because the location of it was in Omaha, which is predominantly, as a city, there's majority black people.
Really?
At least, especially in the neighborhood that the college was in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of black people in that neighborhood. So, yeah, that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting, yeah. White people used to crazy all the time in Grand Junction. Like, obviously, we're from the college.
I don't know. All right, your number 3.
Number 3 for me is the temptation to want to believe in astrology. Because, like, y'all know in Christianity, that is absolutely not taboo.
It's the devil!
It's the devil because it can fall into voodoo and Wicca and all that stuff. Yeah. But, like, the basis of it, I'm like, God created the stars, right? God created the stars, and God also created the tide and how, you know, the moon relies on the movement of the water and all that crazy stuff. Like, God created that. So obviously astrology to some point is real, right? Like, I feel like, I ain't gonna say right, I feel like because it's there, you know what I'm saying? The stars and the moons is there. So I feel like the way it aligns as far as our birthdays go and when we were born and how the tide of the winds and stuff were when we were born, I feel like that does hold some type of weight. But at the same time, I know that I'm wrong because I know it intertwines with voodoo. And like when people be asking me like, what's your moon and sun rising? I'd be like, I don't believe that far. I don't know none of that. I don't want to know none of that. I'm just Sagittarius.
So do you believe or do you think that as far as the zodiac signs are concerned, do you think it's true that like they were, depending on your zodiological sign, that's kind of a tell of your personality?
Yes, I really do. I do feel like that. That's my thing. Like, I do feel like that, but yeah, that's as far as I believe it in that stuff. It's our personalities.
Because I've heard like some instances where people will go so far to believe in it where they won't even like associate with a person of a zodiological sign, and I'm just like, how accurate is that? Like, just because, you know, a person was born in a certain month, you know,
because all of our personalities are still different.
Yeah, like I can see some similarities, some, you know, correlations, but I feel like, you know, some things are a product of specific, but it could be a product of environment, a product of upbringing, you know, all kinds of other things that can be related to that outside of their zodiacal sign.
Right.
So I just find that kind of interesting. Honestly, the only thing I know of as far as astrology and zodiacal signs is what my sign is.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know your sign, and that's it. That's
Shout
how I
out to
feel.
the Cancers.
Shout out to the Sagittarius. But that's it. Like, I don't know no moon rising, moon lowering, sun lowering, rising. I don't know none of that. Don't deal me no cards. I don't want my fortune told off of it. Like, you know, that was my culture shock. Like, oh, there's this new astrology thing. Like, I kind of believe in it, but I know better than that because I know it'll catch you in some voodoo shit if you're not careful.
Yeah. Just that whole vibe in general, just, I feel like as we were raised, we've been very aware of, like, spiritual warfare, spiritual, like, you know, just things that, like, make us cautious about pursuing.
Yeah, because the spiritual world is real. I won't deny that. But as far as messing around with it, I was raised not to do that. Praying is all you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get a direct line to Jesus and tell him what you want. You're not supposed to be in there fishing with spirits and stuff. You're not supposed to be doing none of that. All right. Number two. Oh. This is one of my favorite ones. I found that elder women in the world don't care like church mothers. Now look, I know there's a lot of y'all that ain't gonna agree with me because y'all ain't church mother babies. Oh well, I'm a church mother baby, and I'm also taking care of like other elder women in like assisted livings and nursing homes and stuff. And I just found that their nurturing and caring side is different. Like, church mothers genuinely want to see you thrive. Yeah. When they correct you and when they tell you something, they say, nah, baby, don't do that, or nah, baby. They really are doing it because they want to see you do better. When other elder women say, nah, baby, don't do that, or don't do that, they saying that because that's how they feel. And if it ain't affecting their world or if it ain't something they like, then they don't want you to do it. They're more selfish with their demands.
Interesting.
If that makes sense. As in, like, church mothers, they are a little more loving and caring with their demands. Their demands actually have intention and purpose behind it.
You know, so that actually brings up a story. I don't think I ever told you about this. Right. So when I was working my other job, stocking stores or whatever, it was I ran into this older lady, black lady, who we just had a conversation. You know, we were just talking about our day and just shooting the shit or whatever, and we ended up talking so well that she ended up inviting me to a Sunday dinner. Okay, like it's nothing about. I got some collard greens, some smoked sausages, ma'am, hots. Yeah, we exchanged numbers. I never ended up going, but it's funny you mentioned that because like I feel like that lady was definitely a church mother.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, just concerned about the well-being of people. So that's something to think about.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed in my journeys outside of the church once I started being a
Interesting.
All right, your number two.
So my number two was Christians that don't, quote, look the part. So this kind of ties in with my number three, in the fact that like when I went to Grace, there was a lot of like different people that looked differently, and there was so many people that had like tattoos and ears pierced and mohawks and nose rings, and they were spitting the word,
Yeah.
Like I remember one of my professors, I forget his name, but he had the earrings in and he was, spitting all kinds of words, that made me think about the Bible in a different way. But just not. It taught me a lot about like not, judging a book by its cover, and being more open to hear other people's stories, and being more open to like hearing other people's experiences, and just to open myself up to taking wisdom from other areas.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and just interacting with different people and interacting with different friends and things like that. So that was interesting to me because all we grew up with was, you know, you wear pants in church, okay, and girls never wear pants.
Right. Me, I had to cry and beg and plead to wear pants.
No tattoos. Boys don't wear cornrows. Boys don't
have
pierce
earrings, none of that.
Nose rings, no piercings, nothing. Until but we got a little older. I got a little tattoo.
I got me a tattoo. Shout out to my grandma.
but yeah, I think just experiencing, you know, that this image of Christianity is so much bigger than what we were taught growing up is what kind of led to me getting the tattoo and just being open to other things. I'm never piercing my ears, by the way.
You ain't got to pierce your ears.
No, I'm never piercing my ears. Okay, and I'm never getting no nose ring or anything because it looks like a shiny booger that got stuck.
Oh, shut up! That's what he always tells me. My nose ring.
I was like, just flick that bigger booger off. So yeah, that's my number 2. What do you think?
Let's see. Piggybacking off of what you said with the tattoo, like crazy story about that. I actually got into it with an elder at my mama's church one time because he like came at me hard. Like I was meeting my mama for something. Like I wasn't even supposed to be over there, so I wasn't even supposed to be in church. I was just meeting her for something, and she happened to be with the church people. Okay. And so I had on some spaghetti straps, and my tattoo had just got done. So I'm, you know, young, pulling my little spaghetti straps. Hey, mama, how you doing? My little tattoo out.
That tattoo, that's exactly what he said. That tattoo ain't of Jesus. It harbors the devil inside of it. Soon as you let that ink hit your body, it harbors the devil.
And you know who came to my rescue?
Your mama.
No.
Oh.
Surprisingly not. Actually, I'm going to quit talking about her because who came to my rescue was Granny. Granny said, leave my granddaddy alone. I like that. That ain't nothing but a flower. It's just a flower sitting on the back of her grandma. That's her grandma's favorite flower. That's what you don't know. So you saying something, you don't even know it. And he sat down and I was like, now let me make me a plate of chicken. I think I might stay a while.
Yeah, see, that's kind of the logic that guided me to get my tattoo, because my tattoo it's the logo of the last drumline or the last percussion ensemble I was in, that I was eligible to be in. So it was kind of just a reflection of everything I was taught and everything that helped me become a better musician, really. And I think context is everything when
we get in a tattoo. That's what our mom taught us. I think that's the main thing our mom taught us. Like, our mom ain't never been against nothing that we decided to do. Yeah. But she just always said, know what you're doing. Yeah. Always know what you're doing. If you're getting a tattoo, you better know what that tattoo means. Yeah. Don't be getting Chinese letters and all that crazy mess, and you ain't read a lick of Chinese. How you know?
Right. You know? And all my tattoo is just the arrow up.
Right. Mine was just a flag.
So, but yeah, that was just kind of my number 2.
That's your number 2 already?
What's your number 2? Oh wait, you already did your number 2?
I did my number 2.
All right, so number 1
is boom. Church kids raised a little more stricter than regular kids.
Wow,
and I say church black. Let's say church black kids, because we know that black kids in general are raised stricter than the rest of the cultures, but church black kids, we even a little more stricter than y'all. Yeah. Cause there's a lot of things like Scooby-Doo, for instance. We was not allowed to watch that. No. We wasn't allowed to watch it. He was he was being a delinquent, a rebel. He was watching Scooby-Doo.
I got to watch it at Grandma's house.
Oh, Grandma was always doing something. Grandma was always sneaking us something.
I was watching Scooby-Doo. I was watching Pup Named Scooby-Doo.
We weren't allowed to watch no Scooby-Doo. We weren't allowed to watch no Pokemon.
Yeah.
Digimon. Even though it was just digital monsters. Mama, we weren't allowed to watch that.
They let me watch Digimon.
I wasn't allowed to watch it.
Oh, really?
You was sneaking. I don't want to hear no they let me watch. No, you let yourself watch and never got caught. That's what happened. Because they didn't let us watch a lot of stuff. Like anytime a spell or something would come on TV, we would always have to mute it and stuff like that.
That's why we didn't get to watch Harry Potter. Like, I've still never seen.
I've seen it and I love it. Don't tell my mama. Oh, I just told her.
Yeah, I've still never seen any of the Harry Potter movies, never read any of the books, but yet they let us watch Lord of the Rings.
You know what I'm saying? All the adults witchcraft stuff.
Well, Lord of the Rings wasn't that bad, and I think Lord of the Rings had more Christian.
It did. My dad, I cannot tell you how many messages my dad wrote from those books. Oh my gosh! Like if I know if I had the original copy right here, there would be like nothing but notes through those books, nothing but notes of messages, names, and scriptures that link to it. Yeah.
And then to jump back on to kind of explain why they didn't let us watch Pokemon. Basically, some church mother did some research on the characters, on the monsters. And apparently some of their names were named after demons.
Yeah, and there were some kids getting possessed.
Yeah.
Like, every time I tell this story, there's always somebody that has a story. It's not just us. There's other people that have stories of kids they know that got possessed.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's not just us. So if you know a kid that got possessed by Pokemon.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Because, we have our story of our person that went to church, and he was, you don't remember Mom told you I cannot say his name.
All right, let's talk about it often.
But yeah, Mom told us about a church member that was playing with Pokemon cards.
Oh.
And one night he was in his room, like throwing himself against the bed or something. His mama found him throwing himself against the bed and the wall and stuff. And they had to hold him down and get him together. Yeah, that's our story. And Mom was like, no.
Yeah. So what's funny is, so it was probably maybe earlier that week that they learned about it. That my parents actually bought me my first set of Pokemon cards. And you know what's funny? I didn't even get to open them and look at them. So the minute they learned about that, they tossed my Pokemon cards into our fireplace.
Oh, Lord! Not burned them.
Yeah. I was like, nope.
Yeah, no, but beyond that, he was saying, we had Bible study in the middle of the week, so there was plenty of times where I couldn't go to the skating rink. I could not go to the school skate night because we was in Bible study. That's what I mean by stricter or we learned how to sit down and be quiet, I feel like, in a different way. Like, when the teacher said, sit down and be quiet, and I'm counting down from 5, I was sitting here like this. Quiet.
I don't think. We never.
We had a problem with sit down and be quiet because we would sit down and be quiet every week. There wasn't no choice in the matter. You were sitting down and be quiet at least through a 3-4 hour church service. So we was used to that. So yeah, that's some examples why we was very stricter.
Yeah. What else? I'm trying to think of some other examples.
I was going in the bathroom. Whoopings in the bathroom was normal.
Yeah.
Hearing screams from a church bathroom was normal. And the organist, I swear the organist would just turn it up.
Yeah. I think that's all I can think of.
Yeah, I think that's all I can really think of. So.
Oh, and then another thing too, this, I kind of experienced this more in high school, is just how other kids would talk to their parents.
Yes. Yeah. Now that's definitely a Black culture thing. I think all of us got our tongues correct. We ain't talking to no mom and daddy crazy.
Yeah.
That's a culture thing.
Dudes I came up with, how they talk to their mom. I was just like, oh.
No, the thing that used to kill me is when they would be like, I'm gonna go tell my mom that you're coming over.
What?
You're gonna go tell her? Yeah, I'm gonna go tell her. Well, hold on. Well, before you do that easy little process, I gotta go ask. Okay. Since you got that all easy and dandy, I gotta go ask. And most likely there's gonna be some stipulations before I can go.
Right. Who are these people?
Who are these people? Is this clean? Is that clean?
Yeah, like, I'll tell you, so going back to my friend growing up, honestly, our parents didn't even let me stay over there.
What no spend the night? Yeah, that's the main thing. Wasn't no spend the night.
Before that, it was before they even let me like hang out with them. Mm-hmm. There was like a teacher conference or whatever, and we walked home, and so they had like a long conversation with their parents. It was basically like an interview,
yes.
you know. Just trying to get to know their parents before they even let me hang out with them like that. That
were so many memories. I know so many of my friends were like, yep, that's what we would do because I couldn't go to nobody's house. I couldn't hang out with nobody unless we met the parents. And I'd be like, well, when are we going to get our parents together? Man, they both work. Yeah. Parent-teacher conferences. When your mama coming? Your mama coming at 6? I'm telling my mama to come at 6. Yeah.
I don't think I started hanging out with friends on my own until I was in high school.
Really? Mm-hmm. Mama let me hang out with friends on my own at like 8th grade. I remember.
As far as like going over their houses and stuff.
Mom let me actually go over somebody's house. My first play date was in 5th grade. And it was actually a white girl that went over her house.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I remember there was one of my friends growing up. We were only allowed to play outside, but there was one time where it was just him. He was home alone, and we played Nintendo, and we came out, and my mom was so upset, even though it was just him by himself.
Oh yeah, mom did not play that. If she found out you was inside somebody's house, oh my gosh. Because her rule was, instead of like, you can't come home or to come home before the street lights go off, her rule was, you cannot go outside of the perimeter of my voice. So if I yell outside your name and you cannot hear me, you too far. That was mom. So if she went outside, yes. Well, that's you. On our street where I was raised, the street we was raised on, we both was raised on, but you know which house I'm talking about. Yeah, nah. I remember one time I went to that house down the street where I fell out the tree. And I went inside one time, and mom was like, "Babe," I heard her saying "babe" all the way down the street, but I thought I was tripping. And by the time I came to my senses, I turned around, and she was right, "Babe, I know you ain't in these people's house and you can't hear me."
I remember that. I remember you fell out the tree.
I fell straight out the tree. At the top of the tree, just boom, and got straight up. Did nobody know no first aid? They should have not let me get up. But no, I think everybody was just amazed. Like, is you all right? Yeah, I'm all right. Come on, y'all. What we gonna do? That's exactly how I got that. And Stephen was like, at least he's a good brother. He was like, nah, I think we should take you home to mama.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's a funny story.
Oh,
man.
All right, your last one.
So, my number one, I kind of mentioned it before, but is when I first experienced church being over in an hour. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, I got all this time.
All this time.
We could have lunch and dinner.
Lunch and dinner, you know what I'm saying? Like 2 separate occasions. They ain't one.
Exactly. Man, once I experienced church being over in an hour, I don't think I ever went back.
You went back
to church being 8 hours. You know?
Yeah, nah. Sometimes I go and visit mom. My mom still goes to a Kojic church, so every now and then I go to a Kojic service to get a little peek. Oh yes, I still have church to the wee hours of the morning.
I'm good.
They still be churching to the wee hours of the morning, child.
Praise and worship for 30 minutes, you know. Quick 30-minute sermon.
We need 2.5 hours because we got to bring that back one more time. You know we gotta bring it back.
And then and then the time it takes to someone's always got to catch the Holy Ghost.
The Holy Ghost. The Holy Ghost. And Dr. K when it's like about, oh my gosh, when they catch it after every song in praise and worship.
Mm-hmm.
And then they catch it after the daggone offering song.
Oh, goodness.
And then somebody want to give up and give a gift of love to somebody. So then they got to praise God for his life. And then you got to get the soloist that sings before the pastor starts to preach. And then they want to catch the Holy Ghost after her.
Nobody
Like, oh, now them church services, I'd be like, I'm ready to go before he ain't preached yet. Oh, Lord.
And it sucks. Like, it's easier now because you got a car, so you could just leave. You know, put that finger up and walk on.
I gotta go. Mm-hmm. Bye, Mama. Love you.
Yeah, love you, Mama. Bye. But
I used to be jealous. I used to be jealous of those adults. I ain't gonna lie. You know the adults that we seen grow into adults, and they could lead the service. I used to be like,
put that finger up, and walk on out. Oh goodness! But that used to be agony as a kid. Man.
Agony, man. Hours, and then. I don't know. I don't think our mama packed good enough snacks. All I remember snacking on is Dad's Mentos. We didn't get no snacks. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Well, all I remember eating is my daddy Mentos.
Okay, we got the candy.
That's all I remember.
I remember Starburst.
I remember looking at other kids and they used to have their little lunchbox with their goldfish and their little barrel juice boxes. You know the barrel juice boxes.
Well, it's because we weren't allowed to have food in the church.
We wasn't, but Mama always followed the rules. We're kids. We needed some snacks. Everybody, like I said, they had their hot fries. They teenagers and they was still eating snacks.
Yeah, it was either the candy we get at the store with Dad, or we would sit by Grandma. That's like the main reason I always sat by Grandma.
No, Grandma did have snacks. She did used to harbor snacks. I remember I had some pretzels one time. Yeah, Grandma did used to harbor snacks because she knew our mama didn't do it. So she used to be like, come here, baby. I know you hungry. And I used to be like, yeah, Grandma.
So yeah, church being over in an hour, my biggest culture shock.
And that is the list.
That's the list. So, in the comments below, let us know what's your top 5 culture shocks if you're a PK church kid. If you're from outside the church, you know, what are some of your...
When you got into the church.
Yeah, when you experienced some church things, being in the church. What are your top 5 experiences, you know, culture shocks? Let us know in the comments below. Yeah, we actually made it to an hour this time, right?
We did! Hooray, we did! Okay, now.
So, once again, I am Stephen, the Brother in Blue. You subscribe to this channel, subscribe to Brother in Blue Media. Also, subscribe to Brother in Blue Music. I just put out a video on there, the Sonic Angel Island theme. Check it out. Share this with your friends, and is there anything else?
We out. That's the vibe.
So until next time, that's the vibes. I like it.